How's it going, everyone? My name is Nicholas and welcome back to a brand new video. In this video, I'll be showing you how to set up the dispatcher page. Of course, after getting spammed from all over the place, just YouTube, Discord, and everywhere, I finally came at you guys with the dispatcher page. So hopefully I cover at least 90% of what the dispatcher page is in this video. I'm not sure if you guys will be able to follow, since it's a really hard page to make and how you have to connect it to the MDT and everything. So may God be with us. Let's get started. First thing first, let's start by setting up the AOP, which is a really easy part of the dispatcher CAD. And just start the AOP, and let's make sure this is a text, nothing else, just text. Make it big, just like that, and then get a Dropbox, put it here, and then after you have that Dropbox done, go to data, go to user, and make a new field. Just call it AOP, make it text, and click create. Already have it done. This is the easiest way I have it set up, and if you have any other better way to do it, I guess that works too. Now let's just go in here and write current users AOP. Now the AOP will be, I believe, state or statewide. Then we have Los Santos and Blaine County, and if I believe so, you have Sandy Shores, you have Grapeseed, and if I'm sure, Harmony is one of them. Yeah, I haven't played GTA in a long time, so I don't remember the locations anymore. Harmony, there you go. Great. Now these are the easiest way to do it for the AOP. Simple and fast to do. Now let's start with adding the buttons. I'm gonna start with creating the calls. This is one here. Let's copy it, make another one. So first one will be create calls. Second one will be create bolos. There you go. Now let's start with create calls. There's two ways to do it. You could have a group, or you could have a pop-up. Of course, let's just use a pop-up this time. There you go. You don't need to add a content. So basically, let's start with adding the inputs. Let's just use text first. First one will be, let's say, postal. Or you know what? Let's just have it location / postal. You know, you don't need that much of inputs. One for postal, one for location. That's just too much. And let's make this 18. This is one. And let's make another one here called information. And now we have a little Dropbox. And this Dropbox will be called call sign. Oh, whoops, no. Call source. And just like that. Now, since you're creating a call, you're gonna have to go in data and make a new type called calls or 911 calls. I already have it done. There you go. So you have 911 message, you have the call number, you have the call sign, date and time. Of course, you could call whatever. I have it at 911 calls because I couldn't think of any other name. Now, so for this part, on the call sign, you need a plugin. If we go on plugins, you need random number generator. It's a really good plugin that you need. It will make, so every time you make a new call, it will generate a random number that you could use to assign different officers to, and it will show up in their MDT. Now let's set up the options. So first you have the, of course, dispatcher call, and then you have the 911 caller, and for testing let's add officer or police officers, and that's our fire/MDT or fire/EMS, sorry. Now you don't need those two because it doesn't make any sense, but just for testing purposes, that you could add as much options as you want and it will show up either way. Now let's make this smaller because you don't need that much. Let's get an input here, a location input. Let's make it this big, this wide. Alright, let's just call this location and postal. There you go. Now let's get another one here for information. This one should be a bit longer, and let's call this one info about your emergency. There you go. Let's just make sure it looks good. Scroll down. Let's put this up really close, and scroll down a bit until we find the plugin that we added, which should be a random number. If I could find it. There it is. Just click on it, add it here. Now what we're gonna have to do is the minimum will be 10,000 and the maximum will be 90,000, sorry. There you go. Of course this doesn't show up, it's just there to set up the number. And let's add a button. Of course this is the easy way to make a call sign or create calls. Now let's just call this create calls. There you go. Now that we have this done, you basically finished the setting up the user interface for it. Now we're gonna have to go on start/edit workflow. We're gonna have to create a new call. There you go. It's gonna be 911 calls. Let's add all of this here. Date and location. Right, so let's see what we have here. First will be the location or the message, so it's value, and then we have the call. So here first you're gonna do is just remove that, and let's say C. Alright, while I was recording the video I noticed that the random number generator doesn't work anymore, so instead of using that plugin we're gonna use this one, which is works right now, and the one that I'm currently using. So if we go on workflow, we see this button. Just click here, and I believe if you go on data, scroll all the way down, generate a new number, and it just puts 1 to 1000. And then let's say make changes to a thing. The call, oh wait, call, and then let's put that there. Calls and visit of step 1 number, and there you go. That should be it for setting up the call ID and using the random number generator. And let's continue with the video. Up to you. Now call sign or call source, sorry. It's gonna, if you look down, call source value, date, current, You know, it's the easiest way to do it. And then location. Location on postal. I believe I added postal here now. Okay. It's already done here. Now, let's also click here. Reset input. And then after it's done, it should close the... Oh, where is it? Okay, there it is. Hide group A. Rename the group. Call it create call pop-up. Just like that. Let's close this out. Next, it's gonna be creating the bolos. So I'm gonna skip this part because I already made a video on how to create bolos. I'm gonna leave it in the link down below. Go check it out, watch it, and then when you're done, come back and you'll know how to do the bolos. So let's skip that and go to the other step. Alright, after setting the bolos from the other video, we're gonna move into making 3 more buttons. The first one will be the penal code. So let's show penal code. Penal code is gonna be a separate page. I have this docs right here showing you guys the penal code that I use. It's the city of Los Santos. It's really good. It's really formed. The citations, the misdemeanors, and all the other charges are here. Of course, if you have your own custom one, you could link it, but if you don't, I suggest using this one because it shows you the fine, it shows you everything that you need. Alright, now how do you connect it? Get a button, then get a link, and let's just find the correct corner, just like that, and then remove the text, and it's gonna be an extend user URL. There you go. And that we're done with this one, let's get another button here. This button is gonna be connected to the person search, which we will copy and paste from the other page because I have already made a video about it that you guys could check out. The link will be in the description. And the last button will also be the vehicle search, because you could also call it plane search. There you go. I'm also made another video showing you guys how to do this. I'll link both of these videos down below because I won't be doing it in this video because there's no point, I already done it. Now after we're done with that, we're gonna go into the bit of a confusing part with the control panel. So since dispatcher is able to change the current user or the current officer's status attached to the calls and see who is online and offline. So these 3 things will all be done in one group. So let's just get it over with. Basically, you're gonna have to make a really big, and when I mean big, I mean a massive group. So let's just scroll all the way down, get a really massive group going on, and let's add some borders. Make it solid. Alright, now what you're gonna do is you're gonna have to add a bit of text. Let's get another group and let's make this one a bit gray. Doesn't matter which color you use as long as it looks good. Now let's use text. You can change the style, make it white, and let's call this unit. Make it bigger. You could change the font. This is the maximum you could go for. You could even go for more if you want to. Let's just fix it so it shows up. Okay. Alright, that's one. Now let's go on to making the name of the department. It's gonna be depart select. There you go. And let's get another one here, which will be the setting the status of the officer. So there's two options for the officer. They could set it up themselves manually, or dispatcher will set it to them after like a call has been done. And last option will be call attach. There you go. Now, so that we have the group done, or the names, we get a repeating group. Now the repeat group is gonna be so big, as big as you could make it. Let's just get this lined up, and then all the way down here. Now it's gonna be the role, go all the way down to 20. It's gonna be 20 slots, and then this is gonna be user, and then do a search for user, and then the user, let's look down, on duty equals yes, and then let's add a selected equals, let's just do this, let's say it's gonna be police. Alright, there you go. Of course, it should be a full list, so you don't have this like scroll bar thing. It doesn't look good. Alright, now let's start by making the little thing here. First, let's get a shape. Let's get a low shape. Let's add a border to this one too. Alright, now that we have our shape, make it as small as you can, but not so small because you need to see it. And then make it a circle. The reason why it's a circle is because it will display different colors. So if your officer is 10-8, it's gonna be green. If your officer is 10-7, it's gonna be red. 10-6 will be like goldish yellow. 10-11, it could be any color, but I sometimes go with like purple pink. For 10-23 you have blue, and then for 10-97 you have like pinkish red. So how do you set that up? It should be easy. Just go on the conditions, add a new condition if it wants to do that. Alright, there it is. Current cell users, and then current status is, and then depending on what you have it on your MDT, if you go here and let's click on 10-8 and see what we have it set it up here. We have it on duty, so just make sure that you have these set up. Now let's go here, go back in dispatch, and 10-8. Now background color should be green. You could use these, which are really useful. Now copy, and let's change this into 10-7 / off duty. Of course, don't copy mine because it all depends on what you have it set up in the MDT data. So for example, if you go on the workflow, you need to make sure you copy, you make sure you need to copy this by the letter if it wants to show up. There you go. So this has to be copied, this set current status. So if this is wrongly copied, it will not work because it doesn't know what it's supposed to do. So copying mine would not help you unless you have copied my settings and have it where it shows like 10-8, 10-7, like 10-8 / on duty, and all these options. Otherwise it would not work. So let's just go back, click here for 10-7. Let's use red. Now for 10-6 space on break. It's gonna be goldish. I think I'm gonna keep it this way. You could continue by adding like 1011, 1023, and 1097 if you want to, but I'm just gonna keep these like three main colors. Now we add there is an option where you could also add little icons for like officer, like an officer hat icon. So let's just do that. It will look good if we do that. So I already have an officer icon here that I have been using for a long time. Of course, you could just, I found this image in Google. It was in black and white and I made it blue. So just a little bit of Photoshop is included in this video, but it shouldn't be a problem. Now let's move this bit here. And then let's start by adding the text. Now this should be current cell users, identifier, call sign. And the next one should be, let's make this one big. It should be current users, selected department. And then these two will be a Dropbox. Let's just make it bigger. And let's get another one here. Let's move it a bit here. There you go. Now the options will be, of course, if we double click on it, it's gonna be current cell users, current status, and then I already have all my status copied here. These, of course, from the MDT, same thing, workflow. So if you have it the same as mine, just copy these and just put it in here. Otherwise, whatever you have in that field, put it in here. Then let's work on this one. So if you double click on this one, we're gonna have to change this option, and it's gonna be current cell users, current call, and then we're gonna have to look for the 911 field, do a search for 911, and then we're gonna have to like find the option of the calls hashtag. Now that we're done with this one, let's close it and let's go back on the status and do / edit workflow. Now what you're gonna do here is make the option where when you change the Dropbox selection, it will also change it in the officer's page automatically. So let's find the option where it says current cell user, current status, which will be Dropbox, there, this one is value, and same thing with the call sign. Let's get it, there you go. It's gonna be make changes to a thing, it's current cell user, and it's gonna be current call, or actually, if I'm not wrong, it should be this Dropbox value called hashtag. Alright, now if we preview it really quick and see how it looks like. Alright, so it shouldn't show up any officers because we don't have any active officers right now. But if I could check, so let's just set the Lane County, these work. Alright, so I'll be right back when I have an identifier set up and an officer ready to go. Alright everyone, after setting up the officer, I have one K82 here. He is a highway patrol and his status is 10, I think 10-7 now. So here's the page. So let me just remove this really quick. Now if you look here, you have the AOP and then you have the current status, which will be changing from the dispatch page if I show you right here. So let's go and set it into, what is it right now? It's 10-7. It's gonna be 10-8. We wait for it, and it's 10-8 here. This should change, so let's try to see why it's not changing. Whoops. This also should change, so probably there's an issue with the current status since I had to remake it because it broke. Alright, let's refresh. Okay. Alright, there you go. Now it shows if you're 10-6, it should turn, and that's not the color it should turn to. So let's see how we could fix it. It's 10-6 on brake. To make sure that it's the correct 10-6. This is why you should always go to your identifier or your MDT and check if it's correct. Alright, so I figured out the issue. The issue is super small. That's why you have to copy it by the letter, because you could see the brake should be small b, not the big one, not the capital. That's why it broke. Alright, let's try now. Alright, there it is. It's yellow. So 10-7 should give it the red. 10-8 should give it green. Alright, now this should also change. So let's see, why is it not changing? Let's click on this again, give it a refresh. When creating the same field, you have to go like through everything again and just click on it and change it. Otherwise it will not work. There it is. Let's refresh. That's why this dispatcher is really hard to make, because it's confusing. Now 10-6. There you go. 10-6. Let's set it on 10-23, which is 10-23. I have no color for it. 10-8 and 10-8. 10-11. 10-11. Alright. Now you have the name of the officer. Let's fix the AOP. So setting the AOP, I don't think would work because I haven't set it up to change it. Alright, so first you go on here, then you click on it, then click data, and it changes to a thing, and it's gonna be current user, and look for, I believe it's AOP, there it is, and look for the drop box, which is the current user's AOP as value. Click design, and let's update. Wait for it to update. Alright, let's go here. Alright, now that we have the officer, let's go on and set it into Los Santos, works, Lane County, Sandy Shores, Grapeseed, and Harmony. Okay, it all works. Now, let's just get this here. So now we have this all done. Let's get into the part where we set up the call attachment. Before that, before setting the call attachment, let's go here and also select this input should not be empty, so you don't have this weird empty spot. So it's always like you have to select one of these. Okay. Now we're done with that. Let's move into the call attachment. Alright, so to set this up, you're gonna have to go to your MDT page. and now you're gonna have to make a group here. So what kind of group it's gonna be? It's gonna be a group where it's gonna display all the bolos, and it's gonna also display the call sign, or not the call sign, but the calls that are created by the calls that are created by the dispatcher. Alright, so let's get started. First, you're gonna have to get a group, which will be an easy group to make. It's just gonna be the normal group. Put it here. Make it as big as you want. Let's just remove that. And let's get another group. Let's add the text first. Bolos or active bolos, just like that. And this should be black. Center it. Now this should show the active bolos. Let's get a repeating group. And let's add borders to it. Bolos. Do a search for bolos. Alright, now to check what we have on bolos, go to data. Just type the simple stuff. Current date. Whoops. Let's make this, put it here. Yet again, it's going out of the box, which causes errors. This is going to be the description, and the last one will be the location. Okay. There you go. Now since the ball is made, let's minimize this so it doesn't take as much space. Now first, before we move on making the calls, if you could like double click on it, go to condition, and then if you click here and say current user, I believe should be current call is empty, then this will show up, which is yes, and then copy, paste. Is not empty. Is not empty, and this shouldn't show up. Alright. Now this also should be not visible. There you go. Not visible on load unless you don't have an active call sign. Alright, now let's copy this and get another one here. Let's get this one over. Alright, let's call this one active bolos. Active bolo. The next one will be active call sign. And this one is going to be a bit bigger because you're going to have to include some more stuff in here. So then slash your current call Then include current user's current call. Just like that, and you're gonna have to center it. And this time you're gonna have to click here and change this into calls. You're gonna get a bunch of errors, but it's fine because we're going to change it anyways. That's not what I meant to do. Do a search for 911 calls. Okay. Now since this is 911 calls, we're gonna have to use the 911 setting. You have the call sign, which let's put it at the end. Right about here. And let's make it bigger. That's the center. That's not where I meant to put it. Let's center it vertically. Again, that's not what I meant to do. Let's move all this here. Okay. So first one, location. And this one will be the call source. This one will be the 911 message. And then this one will be the date. Let's make this a bit bigger. There you go. Now let's see if this works. Make it bigger. Now if we double click on this one again, on the whole group, and then just like how we made it for the bellows, should be the same setting, but this time if this is empty, not empty, this is visible, and if it's empty, this is not visible. Alright, so now that we're done with this, let's go on data, app data, and sign into user. Alright, that is not supposed to be like that. Current call shouldn't be that. Because that's not what calls are made for. Alright, so now let's make a call. Before I make a call, let me go get the other page. Load that up. Alright, there you go. So as you can see here, since I don't have a bowler yet, so if I could make one, let's say last known location. Let's add this here so it's easier. Alright. Active bolos. Let's say Sandy Shores. I don't know the postal codes in Sandy Shores, but I'm just gonna add that. White, male, all black. It's gonna be a person, and then create bolo. And there it is. Now let's just go back to the editor and add the option where it resets input and it leaves the pop-up. So let's get on the pop-up. The other one. This, double click, start/edit workflow, create, reset, and then hide the create call or create call bolo. That's not correct. There you go. And then same thing here. We go on the pop-up for calls. We click on start/edit workflow. It's already done here, so we don't have to do it. Now let's refresh. Since we have a bowl already and everything, we're gonna go here and then we're gonna create a call. So now let's create a random call, kind of numbers, shots fired or whatever. Let's call it dispatcher, create call, and then if you click here, it's gonna show up. It's gonna show up the random numbers, CA call attach, which is the call we created. Now we click on it, and just like that, it hides the bolo and it puts in the active call. Of course, when you're done, you could also delete the call. So let's make that option. We go here. Let's make this bigger and get a repeating group. This is big enough. Get it to be solid. And solid again. Should be 911. Do a search for 911. Now this should put all the information here. It doesn't have to be all the information. It just has to be the basic. Cold source. So if you want to just keep it 3, that's fine. And cold. So let's get an icon here, and this will be the trash icon. Of course, let's give it a color red, and let's start/edit workflow and delete thing current cell 911 call. Let's refresh. Now that we're still attached to this call, it shows everything. We go on create call and let's delete it, which should also work here. Let's see. There's always the option if you could make this not empty, so we could like set it to nothing. So basically like that, and there you go. So you could make this empty and create as much as you want. So that's one. Of course it's random every time. For the bolos, person search, vehicle search, it's all in different videos that I already have uploaded. Their link will be in the description down below, and this is the main part. Of course, you could also include the fire department. So basically, when selecting or when you have the identifier selection for the department, you always make sure that you have a user field or user new field called select department. And when you make changes for the person who is trying to log in, so for example, this is my identifier. If I double click on it, you could see that it makes changes to a thing, sets my duty to yes, and it sets the current call to 10/7 off duty, sets the identifier. Then here it sets the set department to highway patrol. So this will be a highway patrol one. Of course, you could change it to whatever, but it has to be the same. So if you copy this and you go to your dispatcher page and you double click on this, you see if you click on search users, it says the selected department highway patrol. If it's something else like highway patrol, but instead of a capital P, it's just a normal P. If you look into the page, you will see that it will not show the officer because of just one little mistake. Unless you go in here and you change it again. Wait for it. There you go. Then it will just show up the officer right away. After that, it should all be done. You could also like add multiple departments, so it should be, let's say, Los Santos Police. Well, that didn't. That's Los Santos Police, and you could make another another like group under it for like fire and EMS. And I believe that is it for the dispatcher control panel. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If this helped you, please leave a like. This took a really long time and it's currently 5 AM in the morning. Alright guys, make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.